Good evening there. It is December the 18th, 2020 here. It's 11:33 a.m. here, Central Standard Time here in the States. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you all of the team here for the Africa Times News Podcast. Just wanted to give a quick introduction of how a preliminary draft on the podcast plans for the Africa Times News. Bear with me here as I get a little situated, and I'm going to try to cover a few of the notes. First off, I think the first podcast we can shoot for is the December 26th. December 26th, then we will have the next one January the 2nd, January the 9th, and then January the 16th. And then we're going to have the event on that 22nd. On January the 22nd, we're looking to have that event. January 22nd is a Friday. And then we maybe can have the next podcast on the 23rd, or maybe the next podcast on the Tuesday of that date, maybe. So then we can cover how the event went. That'll give us time to speak on the event, or we can just, or we can keep with the 23rd date and keep with our schedule, and then just follow up on the discussion of what occurred on the 22nd. Maybe we can do that one on the 30th of January. So we'll make that decision. We'll make that decision after the event on January, depending on how busy everyone is. I think we spoke with Namuli about 4 hours. We spoke with Halima about the internship involving 4 hours weekly. And now we have a commission structure that will reward you guys if you decide that you want to place more hours in. You want to focus on if you want to do, you can do as many podcasts as you like. The dates that I'm placing up here is for, it shouldn't take you guys no more on the actual video production that we'll actually post. That doesn't have to be no longer than 20 minutes of what I will try to keep. I would try to keep what I request not taking up no more than 20 minutes of you guys' time. But if your work if it becomes a little bit more extended, and you end up having to place more, or you feel a will that you want to place more, because I'm going to ensure that what I request, I'm going to ensure that it's not going to be that vast, so that it's not occupying all of your time. But if you decide that you want to add more to it, then that can be up to you guys' discretion. Our main focus that I would like to have the emphasis for the podcast will be the Institute and the different businesses that we'll be promoting leading up to the event. We're going to be dealing with, and then every once in a while I may have a few snippets. It'll be a real quick sound bite of something that's of news related. I'm not going to try to do a whole lot of news related coverage. I'm not going to be doing a lot of doom and gloom. We want to focus on affirmations, positive narratives, and positive stories, and our business development. Try to keep that the focus of our podcast, whether it be with the fashion, with the school, and all of the businesses that we'll be promoting. And as I said, specifically the school and the designs. We'll have the calendar, and then the calendar is going to eventually roll into the magazine. And then with the calendar also, we're doing each month, right? And then each month you will have a fashion that's featured for a particular country. And so that gives us a lot of areas to focus on within those particular countries, because and then that gives us a lot of areas to focus in on our events, because now we can talk about that particular country. We could talk about the fashion that'll be associated with that particular calendar month. that we'll be getting drafts for. We'll be making designs based on the culture of that country for that month. So all these are things that we can talk about. The different fashion designers who we're seeking to make a design for that calendar month, we can be discussing those areas. And of course, the businesses in those countries. We're going to have specific areas of businesses who we're going to be reaching out towards. I'm going to work on these notes that I'm about to go over here quickly is not covering the different specific businesses that and how the interns who we're going to do for that aspect, how they'll be reaching out towards those specific businesses. You guys will have your responsibilities here with the podcast, but again, everyone's welcome and free to seek the different areas of businesses that we would like to have represented there. We can have other plays when we have these events where we can have the events for 1, 2, or 3 days. And since Namuli has flooring in our plans, we're going to be having flooring in our plans. Eventually, we can include other areas so that if we have a 2 or 3 day event, we can start including plays. And we're going to have open mics. I can assure that we're going to have open mics and things of that nature so that the people can perform. And so all of those aspects would be complementary to each other for a particular month or calendar. And those are the things, the areas that we can place our communications on and spend the predominant amount of our communications on. And, we don't have to always spend a lot of our time. There's a lot of people doing the commentary on social, economic affairs. We may segue to some journalists in those areas and allow their contribution to be a soundbite that we include there. But we're going to be initially predominant with, as I said, our development, the expansion of the businesses who we're complementing, our areas of expertise, and I think that's going to be that can be how that can be the basic template that we can anticipate. Okay, and so for the December 26th podcast, some of the preliminary notes that I have here that I think will help us start to develop that show, so you guys can start filming as you see fit. We'll do the introductions. You give the introductions of who you are, explaining that you will be the host as an intern with goals of expanding positive Pan-African affirmations through this media platform. Our work will include uplifting narratives, covering news on the continent, in synergy with other self-determined efforts of journalism. Okay, these efforts will place emphasis on the International Black Forum and the multiple entities within all sectors of commerce and innovation to ensure that we are competitive and sustainable. We want to make sure that we're competitive and we're sustainable. That's why I say we're focusing on the businesses that we're promoting instead of all of the complaints about, being victims and so forth. We're going to be focusing on how we're empowered and our plan for empowerment to include that empowerment and expansion. Okay, you can give an introduction at this point that you can practice these communications. You can practice as much as you need. Of course, we'll be editing that. And you can give the introduction at this section, such as your name, Namuli or Winey, and you look forward to you're explaining at this point how we look forward to our dynamic cultural fashion contributions. That's because these are you ladies' areas. I know Winey said that was her particular area. If you guys have any other areas of interest that you would like us to develop and then begin to promote within these podcasts for the International Black Forum events, we can start working on those communications so that we're comfortable with the upload there. And we're explaining, I know in the case of Winey, where she spoke about her interest with the Alkebulan Cultural and Technical Vocational Institute, how she would be a part of the fashion aspects of that. So you can explain that you'll be involved with the fashion development and of our dynamic cultural fashion contributions. And then you can speak here of where you were born, where you now reside, some things that are important to you, And then we maybe want to start the introduction, as I said, of the Institute, of the Alkebulan Cultural and Technical Vocational Institute, and how it's been open for 3 months as of January 22nd. When we have our event, it's going to be open for 3 months. And to celebrate that, we're going to be showcasing the beginning of our African clothing line and inventory. Okay, we're going to want to edit in video at this aspect, have some video edits of the students, and maybe interview some of the students while presenting their finished works. Okay, we can have graphics in the video. We're going to have the graphics in the video editing software. Namuli, you can ensure that you get the software on your laptop. If you ladies have a laptop, we can talk about some of the video editing software that we use. We may want to use some of the same kind, so to help us, maybe if we need to help each other out with work. I'm using the Pinnacle Studio 22 that you guys can look up here. It's the Pinnacle Studio 22 here, and it's gonna be this one here. Oh, let me turn it there. Yeah, that one there, that one here. It's gonna be there. The Pinnacle Studio 22. So you want to do, if you guys can do that, get the Pinnacle Studio 22 for your laptop, Namuli. If you ladies have laptops, we can get that, and then in that manner, we can work on the same video editing software, and then that'll make it easier for us to all contribute to a video edit as we're in the process of making the production for upload. And so that will be something that we can do, something that you guys can do on the technical aspect for the laptops. Okay, and so as I said, we're including some of those graphics in the video editing software. Sometimes we want to make sure we actually list, when we're communicating about the International Black Forum. We want to commit that you can keep up with our events and products that we have for sale, business opportunities for expansion. You can keep up with all of this information and the events that we'll be hosting that you can be a part of at blackforumsolution.com. And then we'll have, for the International Black Forum sections, we have those sections, and we say, no, this is the section, this is the Black Forum section of the podcast, and then at that aspect, we'll be doing the executive summaries on the businesses, talking about areas that we're looking to develop, and of course, we'll also have the entertainment section, and we can have where people can keep up with the projects, the creative projects that we have currently ongoing, the slots that are available, any casting calls that we will be having for plays and programming of that nature, any casting calls. We'll have those updates. We have updates within the podcast of that as well. And so that's I just want to give a quick brief introduction on that. Also, what I would like for us to do is make the events within the Facebook platform. If we can have the events on the Facebook platform for the Africa Times News and on our respective pages, events for the podcast, for the upcoming podcast programming that people can keep up with. We'll be doing a promotion daily. We need to be telling people to anticipate the podcast that we're about to host. So before the day out, I'd like to have a flyer for the podcast that we're about to have on the 26th. And so I'm going to work on that. And then we can start sharing that to our page about the podcast. And of course, the flyer for January 22nd, we need to start promoting that. And then any other promotions I have within there, we can start working on those promotions to be included in the programming, and then we can get continuously we can start filming for the podcast, because we don't have to do all the filming on December 26th. You know, if you guys want to do something live on that day, it's up to you. But we can do. I would like for us to have all our filming done before maybe January 23rd. Maybe we can have our filming done, and that way we do any edits. I can look at any edits, and then we can start the upload on that December 26th and have it up there by 5 p.m. And here is one of the events. We want to open up the event, and the events, we want to make an event, and then we want to share that event to the Africa Times News. I've already made you ladies editors of Africa Times News. I'm going to also make you editors of Black Forum service providers. We want to instruct people, the businesses who we promote, as we get clients. We want to have those clients on the Black Forum service providers. I'm going to make you guys admins to the Black Forum service providers. Eventually, as we secure clients, we're going to place them there as well. And any business that we want to reach out towards, we might place them there. And then what we can do is we can communicate to people about those businesses, and we want to tell them that if they're interested in those businesses, comment in the Black Forum service providers for those businesses, and then that allows us to communicate to those businesses and demonstrate how they're on multiple platforms that we champion, how being on the multiple platforms that we champion gets them exposure, gets them great promotion of people who are willing to invest and are actively looking to support their businesses. And so this justifies their securing a package through us as a client and being featured at our live events in the multiple capacities of presentation that we will have, that will allow them to, as we said, sell products, sell their services, and also communicate and network with investors.